Happy World Goth Day, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am filming the video that I have tried to film many times before, and it has just not worked out for me. I really don't know why it has been difficult for me to film, but I just keep getting tripped up on questions that I just go, I get distracted. I trail off. So since today is World Goth Day, I figured I would go on and do this tag. I will put the original video in the description box. I believe you pronounce her name Toria? Toria Tumbleweed, as in Victoria. I'm not certain about that though. And before everybody freaks out, I did film this makeup tutorial. That out of the way, let's start this damn tag. Question number one, how long have you been goth? Well, see, this is where you start, question number one is where you start getting complicated. Honestly, it's not something that you are born with or anything. I would say the simple answer is probably since I was about 16 or maybe 15, a little before that, like freshman and sophomore year in high school. If you want to get down to the, like when actually I started being interested in the subculture and specifically like the scene around me physically in my city. Number two, how were you introduced to goth? Well, I mean, it was just everywhere. I was born in the mid 80s, so you know, you grow up, it's just everywhere. I don't know. Chat rooms were a big thing when I was like 12, so I was always in chat rooms. If anybody remembers the chat room Real Vampires No RPG, I was in there. Throwing it back. What's up, 1997? But specifically, the earliest I can remember is of having anything, you know, Gothic that I can remember being introduced to would be the 1931 version of Dracula with Bela Lugosi. But if you're talking about like introduction to goth as a culture and like a scene and hanging out, it was through like a metal venue and just going out and seeing people. I think the internet had a big thing to do with it though, because there was a local website. This was long before Facebook. This was in like 2000 or something. There was a local website here that was kind of like Facebook, but it was primarily for dating, I think. But I was on it, everybody was on it. And so you would connect with people who were darker in the goth scene and be friends with them. And I don't know, I think maybe like there were message boards. I can't really remember. I have terrible memory. I know I met a lot of people through that website, and it was local. So I was meeting everyone who was around me and going to places because of that website. It was just very organic, and you're just drawn to the people you're drawn to, and you all go out and hang out together. We didn't have phones to talk. I had like a Tamagotchi, okay? Like, so what we did was we went and congregated with each other and like did things and like drove around to gas stations and stuff that you do in Kentucky. What do? You drive around, go to like the mall parking lot and do donuts, and then you go to the goth meetup at the pizza joint later. Like, that's it was a pretty not glamorous version of being introduced to the goth scene. What gothic sub-genre would you put yourself in? I would not, and you're not, you don't need to do that. Not necessary. Neither desired nor required. What do you believe to be the basis of the gothic subculture? Well, everybody's so hot to trot about this on the internet, but everyone has been always like, what is goth? Always. It's always been a thing, guys. It always has. It's not like it's cropped up in the past few years. It's just that people on the internet are starting to talk about it now. It's difficult to say, but the basis is for the goth subculture is the music scene. It is. However, what is music? It is an expression. It is art. So what is art? Art is an external expression of internality. So I think that there is a root there from which the music, the art springs and is the center of it. So if you want to dig really deep, it can be something that's internal because the music is an expression of something internal. And if you relate to or like that music, there is something internally that is maybe the deepest common or strongest common denominator. I don't think it really matters. Who cares? Let's just go to the goth night. What do you dislike about being goth? Nothing. Nothing. I mean, it's like I'm a human being. That's what I am. And I like these things and I listen to this music and I hang out with these people and that makes me a goth. Okay. I don't dislike anything about that. I don't dislike anything about that. The only things that make it more difficult is like when you wear the things you want to wear or talk about the things you want to talk about with people who are not in this sort of sphere. They don't get it, and you feel disconnected with a lot of other people because there's a big part of you that most human beings can't understand. And that, I guess, is kind of sucky. What do your parents think of it? Well, I'm extremely old now, so my parents they matter, but their opinion doesn't matter. But that was not a conflict that we ever had. I do remember, though, once they would always have us write Christmas lists. They wouldn't give us everything on the list, but it would just be like a reference for them to buy us presents. And I think every single thing on it was a vampire-related item. And my mom came up and told me, she was like, this is fine, but after this, no more vampire stuff. It was really funny. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that didn't work out, Mom. She gave up. Eyebrows or no eyebrows? Either way is great. For me, I love to have eyebrows, but I really love people that don't have eyebrows. Question number 8. What is your favorite band? I don't have a favorite, but if I had to say one, just because this is a tag and I'm doing it, so I guess I have to, and this is the Goth tag, so I'm gonna insert the word goth in there. What is your favorite goth band? I think that I'm really gonna have to be super cliche. It's like neck and neck, Sisters of Mercy and Susie and the Banshees. I can't choose. I can't pick. Don't make me do it. Don't. You're cruel. Don't make me do this. Number 9, your opinion on Marilyn Manson? Question mark. I don't have an opinion on Marilyn Manson. I don't know the bitch, never even met her. The band, let's talk about the band. It's true that Marilyn Manson was almost, I mean, maybe I could have talked about this in my introduction to goth question, but when I was like around in 5th grade, I think, is when me and my friends would start going to a particular friend's house to listen to Marilyn Manson, because my parents, while being progressive, were not that progressive at that point when I was in 5th grade. So when I was around 10 years old, Marilyn Manson was starting to be like a really big thing on MTV, and you know, you just knew who Marilyn Manson was. It's hard because a lot of older people will disparage Marilyn Manson and the band. I like, you know, the first few albums. I think after Antichrist Superstar, I kind of fell off the wagon. I was like not there for it anymore. Like Mechanical Animals had a few songs on there that I did like. So, you know, I liked the music, and I think it had a good effect on my life. And I love his voice. I mean, I love his voice. Who is not gonna love that voice? Are you kidding me? His voice is gorgeous. I love it. I love it. Everybody loves it. If you don't love it, I don't understand you, but that's okay. That's yours. You can have that. I think I appreciate Marilyn Manson for what that band and what he did for a lot of young kids during that time period. I definitely still rock out to some Marilyn Manson songs. So if that makes a difference. Number 10, what were your baby bat days like? Number 1, I hate the term baby bat. I hate it. I really hate it. I mean, it's cute, but am I the only? I feel like I'm going crazy. Why is everyone using this term? Seriously, why are they taking it seriously? People are like saying baby bat as like a, like it's a legitimate term. Am I going crazy? Was it just the region that I grew up in where it was like tongue-in-cheek? It was a funny term. It was more like you're making fun of someone, but in good fun. Am I crazy? Am I the only person who feels like it's weird for people to be saying that? I don't know. The term baby bat is really weird for me to take seriously at all. If you also are in this same boat where you're like really confused by this, please leave a comment because I feel super alone. I don't really have anything against it. I just always, my experience with it was always in a different context. It was never a term that was taken seriously at all, ever. Okay, so getting back to the actual question, what were my younger goth days like? Those days of my life were really fun and just ridiculous, and it was like a haven from everything else, you know? Like sanctuary to be with those people. Most of my memories are just like laughing and cackling with my friends and dancing and just, you know, in general, being a kid. And no one was mean, no one was, you know, shitty to me, because I was never shitty to anybody. I think that there were those dramas and stuff, but I never really got involved in them. In a word, they were fun. So if you guys have any more questions, please leave them down below. I hope you guys are well, and I will see you all in my next video.